how cool is it to see you? That's what I want to know. It's very cool. Welcome back to Jexperts. My name is Eden Walbay in Dundas, downtown Toronto. Hey, you know, one of the best parts about this show is we get return guests. They come back, and I'm always happy to see them. It's so great to see you, Isaac.
Nice to see you, Eden.
You know, we had a great time last time, and I'm anticipating an even better time this time. I felt very much, if I can say this, I felt like I'm just schmoozing with a cousin or an uncle or a brother. And for you, it felt like what? Don't hold back.
Eden, you are part of the family.
Don't hold back.
You are totally part of the family.
Don't hold back. All right, that's cool. So we want to enlighten people a little bit more on prosthodontics, okay? And what is a prosthodontist, okay? I was so close to saying prostate, and I don't know why, because my uncle just had his exam yesterday.
Your uncle is telling you about his exam with his prostate?
I'm his counselor. I'm his counselor, and I'm getting old enough that, how did we get here? This is already off track. The same thing that happened last time.
It's the same thing. Last time, though, we talked about prosthodontists, and we got on to proctodontists.
So this time we got on to prostate, and how do we get this thing back on track? You're
I
a
think we should
doctor.
talk about prosthodontics instead of the other things. That
Right.
might actually work, I think.
Right. But this is a term that seems to always be you know this. How many days do people mispronounce prosthodontics?
They mispronounce it and they don't really understand it.
Okay. So perfect segue for helping people to better understand this amazing industry. What is prosthodontics?
Well, prosthodontics is a specialty in dentistry. It's one of the 9 recognized specialties, and we deal with replacing missing structures, missing tooth structures, missing gum structures, missing bone structures. We deal with prosthetics. That's what we deal with. And whether we deal with them from an implant perspective or from a tooth perspective, we replace missing structures. That's what we do.
Okay. So that's pretty detailed. But how did you get involved in this amazing, this amazing industry?
You know, we all have people that influence us over time, and I just had a wonderful instructor in dental school who just could do amazing things with materials, and I wanted to emulate him, and that's how I got involved, and I went on to do the specialty, and I continue to enjoy it all the time.
Okay, so losing teeth is obviously, it remains an issue, I would imagine. I don't know if it's as big an issue today as it was 50 years ago, is it?
Well, we don't have as many people losing teeth in the same numbers as we've had in the past.
Right.
But, you know, in Canada, we have a huge immigrant population, many people coming into the country from different parts of the world, and they need our help. And the level of dentistry here in Canada is probably the best in the world.
You think?
Absolutely.
How do we compare with this south of the border with the Americans?
We're still better.
We're still better?
We're still better.
Okay, what about Britain?
We're still better.
Really? Australia?
We're still better.
Oh, man.
We're Canada.
You got to love a guy with
We're
confidence.
still better.
You got to
We're
love a
still
guy with
better.
confidence.
Absolutely.
So if somebody loses a tooth, do they
Yes.
really need to replace it?
Well, you don't have to. As long as you can function okay and you look okay, you don't have to replace a tooth.
Right.
But one of the problems with losing teeth is that you not only lose the tooth and the function, you also start to lose the bone that used to support those teeth. And you don't want that to happen. You want to maintain that bone, and by replacing missing teeth, you can maintain bone, you can maintain the bite, you can maintain the aesthetics. So we generally suggest that people replace missing teeth on a regular basis.
All right, so then how do you go about replacing a tooth?
Well, there are several ways.
Okay.
We have ways that we call fixed methods, which means we replace them, and these are non-removable ideas like implant-based work or bridges. We also have ways of replacing missing teeth that are removable in nature, like dentures. So we can replace teeth in a lot of different ways, and technology today has made it simple, has made it easy.
Okay, so when you say technology, Isaac, what are you referring to? Again, technology is a pretty broad term.
Sure. Well, technology involves computer-based technologies for diagnostics, for planning, for making the implant surgeries, if that's what we're doing, for making them easier, for identifying situations that we couldn't identify before, and making the procedures really as pain-free as possible.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned implants.
Yes.
Now, implants are something that are very obviously popular. They're necessary. They serve the purpose, and sometimes they're the only option, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say the only option, but sometimes they're the best option.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about implants then. You know, what implants essentially are by their definition, and talk about the, you know, the procedure itself. Do you mind?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Well, an implant is basically a man-made root. It's a man-made tooth root. So when you lose a tooth, you lose not just the crown of the tooth that you see, but you lose the anchor of the tooth, which is the root. What the implant is a man-made root that replaces the one that you've lost. And just like the one that you've lost has a crown on it, we place crowns on top of the man-made implants. So it's a total tooth replacement that doesn't rely on any of the neighboring teeth for any form of support. And it is really a wonderful way to replace a missing tooth.
So it's just the only way to replace a tooth in a solid, fixed manner?
No, it's not the only way to replace a tooth in a solid manner. You can also use a bridge, which includes placing a crown on the teeth on either side and cementing this large structure in place. We can also do bonded bridges, which bond a missing tooth into the space itself, but still it is supported by the neighboring teeth. And that sometimes can give trouble to the neighboring teeth. So the implant, if we can do it, will give us many times the best option that we have.
Okay, so dentures, you know, was something that we often joked about, you know, with our grandparents. Dentures are where now in the industry? Are they used? Are they on their way out? Are they still an option that sometimes is appropriate and applicable? Tell me, let's talk a little bit about dentures. Are they a word of the past?
No, no. Dentures, dentures is still a very big thing, or very big part of what we do.
Okay.
Dentures is just a removable way of creating teeth. So dentures are removable by the patient. They are removable by the dentist, obviously. And they replace teeth in a way where we can not only replace the tooth itself, but if the patient's also missing a lot of gum structure, we can replace that too. Using the denture, we can provide lip support. We can make patients look better by holding their face out. And really some incredible aesthetic things we can do. But they are removable. And we will use implants under dentures to support the dentures so that the dentures don't move. But that being said, even a removable denture that has no implants is still a wonderful reconstruction, and we still do those things. In fact, you were talking about technology. We do them now in a digital way.
But
We do them in a digital way.
how so?
Using computers. So we use scans of impressions and of patients. We build the dentures inside a computer, and then the computer tells a mill to fabricate a denture out of a solid block of material. And these things fit incredibly well, and they're extremely well tolerated, and they look absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so let's talk, you know, we're talking now about tooth replacement. Now, where are we at in general with tooth replacement? Where are we at and where are we going? What are your prognostications in terms of, you mentioned technology, where do you think this is going? I mean, where, you know, reconstructive surgery is becoming extremely involved, and it's offering a lot of different options.
I think we're at the point now where we can replace just about any tooth using man-made materials.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, and it's very predictable, and it has very high success rates. There is research that suggests that there may come a time where we can grow teeth, where teeth can be developed in that way. But I think that's still going to be quite a long ways off, because not only do we have to grow them, we have to get them the right color, the right shape, in the right position, and get them to function right. Now in prosthodontics, using implant technologies, using digital technologies, we can do things pretty well, pretty quickly, pretty pain-free, and effectively.
I was asking Effie, who, by the way, is a complete superstar, right?
Oh, she totally is.
She's a superstar. She knows she's a superstar. And one of the best parts about my job is interviewing such lovely young Jewish women. Tell me about the hiring. Tell me about the hiring process here.
Well,
how many people did she beat? How many people did she beat out? Because it's a very competitive. I'm being silly, but it's a very competitive industry now. I think how many percentage is there in school of people? It's competitive, right? And this leads me to oh my God, this is so brilliant, Michelle. I refer to my executive producer sometimes.
Of course.
This relates to the artistry and the skills of these people coming out of school. How did you know how amazing Effie was at her craft? Like, how do you know how good? Yeah.
Eden, you know something?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Well, you know what?
You are so talented.
You know what?
You are so talented. I'm impressed every time I come and see you. I really am. Well, about Effie. Effie,
as it relates to the next question, because this is not just a science; it's an art form.
Absolutely.
And let's be real about that. Is that you are carpenters, you're craftsmen in a sense. So I'm wondering, speaking about Effie, she's got a great reputation, great at what she does. But how do you know when somebody comes out of school how good they are at this amazing craft we call prosthodontics?
Well, let me tell you, okay? Yes, we are craftsmen. We are like carpenters with really small tools.
But you're not speech therapists.
No, we're not. Let me tell you.
I got you back.
You are
for
good,
your
man.
I got you back for your patronizing remarks.
I first met Effie Habsha when she was a dental student.
Right.
And then after she finished dental school, she went on to become a resident at Mount Sinai Hospital, where I got to teach her as well.
Right.
Then she went off to grad school here in Toronto, and I got to be her instructor in grad school.
Okay.
So at the end of grad school, when Effie was trying to decide what she would like to do, I said to Effie, I said, Eff, once you've gone and you've interviewed with a whole bunch of people, come by and talk with me.
Okay.
And I realized really how talented this woman was.
Right.
Not only in her skill set. It's not only in her skill set, it's in her ability to learn.
Right.
That's the key.
So she's teachable. But I want to know, let's be candid here. What makes what artistry, what skills does somebody need to to perfect this art form? I think that's a fair question.
It's a good question, and what you need is vision. You need vision. You need to be able to predict and to see what the final outcome is before you start the work. And that kind of vision is something that a prosthodontist needs. And that is something that I saw in her. Effie.
And that is something that you you look for, right?
Absolutely.
In your team.
Absolutely.
Okay, and it's something that somebody should always look for when assembling a team or a practice, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, vision. Okay, speaking of vision, we have to get going, because my vision is telling me that we need to, let some advertisements and some commercials come on here. It's so much fun to see you again.
Eden,
did you tell me how this ranks up there with the last time you were on here?
Eden, I think since the last time I was here, you've gained a lot more experience, and I think you're just an even better host than you were last time. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
I just want to believe that's sincere. I want to.
Look in my eyes.
Well,
just look in my eyes and you can see it. Eden, it's a pleasure, buddy.
Nice to see you.
Nice
Isaac,
to see you too.
Listen, we've learned a lot about prosthodontics today, and you're welcome back here anytime. I really do hope you'll consider coming back here when you have some free time.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, and we have to run now. It's been Jexperts right here from Bay and Dundas, downtown Toronto. We'll see you next time right here on Jexperts. Thanks for watching, everybody. Great show. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. That was good.